In a world where the paranormal is just a breath away, we're spanning the globe to bring you the best in paranormal news. This is The Week in Weird. Hello, and welcome back to The Week in Weird. Our first story is a true mystery at sea. Two fishermen discovered a partially submerged yacht with a broken mast off the coast of the Philippines. When they approached it and climbed aboard to see if anyone was in need of assistance, they found something that will haunt them forever. When they reached the yacht's cabin, they found assorted foodstuffs, clothing, and books strewn about the floor. But then they discovered the mummified remains of the yacht's captain, still seated at his desk near a radio in what appears to have been a final attempt at making a distress call. The 58-year-old German explorer Manfred Bleistein was identified by paperwork found on board the yacht, but it was unclear how long he'd been dead or what killed him. Manfred had been sailing around the world in his 40-foot yacht named Sayo for the past 20 years and was last seen in Mallorca, Spain by a fellow sailor in 2009, but he was maintaining contact with friends online up until 1 year before being found. The mystery of where he'd been recently and where he was going remains unsolved. Clues may lie in haunting photographs found in a damaged photo album on board. The photos show Manfred in happier times with family and friends, including a daughter named Nina and his ex-wife Claudia, who passed away in 2010 after the divorce 2 years earlier. The German embassy in Manila is trying to contact any remaining relatives in Germany, and local police are attempting to trace his most recent voyages to try and locate anyone who may have spoken to or seen him alive prior to being found adrift. Authorities are making every effort to answer the question of just what happened on board the Sayo in Manfred's final days. Our last story is a bit cheesy. Seeking to find out if the sounds and vibrations of music played to cheese while it matures can have an effect on its flavor and texture, researchers at the Bern University of the Arts in Switzerland conducted a culinary art experiment called Sonic Cheese. The researchers placed identical wheels of cheese into separate crates to mature. Each wheel of cheese was exposed to a different genre of music for 24 hours a day over the course of 6 months. Some of the different types of music included classical, rock, techno, hip-hop, and even some yodeling. Once the aging process was complete, the cheese was then judged by a culinary jury to determine what, if any, differences there were, and to see if one cheese tasted better than the others. They discovered the music did in fact affect the cheese, with the most obvious differences being observed in the strength of flavor, smell, and taste. The cheese exposed to classical and rock music had a milder taste and was well liked, but the hip-hop cheese was the clear favorite. The judges said that it had a stronger aroma and a bolder, fruitier taste than that of the other test samples. The fact that hip-hop cheese stood out from the rest really shouldn't come as a surprise, especially if one takes into account the deep, long-standing connection between hip-hop and cheese. Consider Flavor Flav's iconic cheese necklaces, or Tupac Shakur's famous cheese belt. Ultimately, the researchers found out that what they say on the street is true. There ain't no cheese like a hip-hop cheese, because a hip-hop cheese don't stop. And that's it for this week's installment of The Week in Weird. I'm your host, Matt Bleistein, and I'll see you next week.